1993.
Search of things.
Here's one of these inland canal things that go through the east end of the island.
For sale by owner.
That house is for sale right there.
Right with the ocean, with the lake you use?
Yeah, I think it's a canal. They kind of go through this part of... What? Yeah. Another one for sale. Left. See, on these homes they have the steel shingles.
Like a tin roof on the outside.
Yeah.
Toys for sale.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta put that in the driveway. Get out of the way. Or whatever that is called. Growing up the tree. Seeing that plant with the leaves that are like irrigated.
Yeah. Nice yard over there. Just some things around the hotel room.
Yesterday, when I said I would be here in LA and asked him, I realized we were turning the tables on so fast.
Honey Nut Cheerios, all day oats and crunchy almonds, honey toasted for that irresistible taste.
I don't know.
Massonville, trust me when you want it.
To taste delicious ice cream is to remember how it feels to be a kid. The excitement, the fun, the absolute joy. It's a taste of lush.
Yeah, I'm scared to say what's coming tonight.
Now coming up on the other side of the street to the right here behind the brick wall is where our most famous resident lives, up right here, but we do have a trolley stop coming back from Mallory Square where you can get off and visit Hemingway's. Ernest Hemingway wrote 7 of his most important novels while he lived in that house. Novels like To Have and Have Not, Islands in the Stream, For Whom the Bell Tolls. Those were all written while he lived right there. Well, we're entering now what's called the Hollow Village. If you're born in Key West, you eat so much of this little guy, you're known as a native conch. And welcome to the Conch Republic. Up in this house are botanical gardens, almost a full city block long. And that is a whole lot of territory for a little island like the old one, yeah? Fits right in with the houses across the street here, probably 100 years older. The little picket fence is the gingerbread house. Captain Benjamin Baker built it as a wedding gift for his daughter in 1876. All of that fancy detail work around the front, that's gingerbread. See any 2 houses with the same gingerbread trim, and you'll know they had the same carpenter because that keeps the attic cooler. Number 2, you can take rainwater off a tin roof, the best of any kind. That's the only way we got fresh water for so many years when it rained. Now water comes down a pipeline over the ocean from the mainland. And the most important reason of all for a tin roof is to prevent the spread of fires from one rooftop to any house that has been returned to its original condition. That is a much coveted award so far, but Jerry Herman, the Broadway composer, lives down here in the Florida Keys. He's the guy who wrote the hit musicals Hello Dolly and Mame, La Cage aux Folles, Mac and Mabel. Jerry Herman restored these 2 big Victorian houses coming up on the left corner in 1985. He lived in the house that's on the inside for a couple of years. You know, when Jerry Herman was attending the University of Miami, his major was architecture, his minor was music. He does have a real interest in that sort of thing. Here's our public library on the right side. It's the oldest one in the South. This is an eyebrow house. You see the 2nd-story windows peeping out from under the roof line? Some people say it looks like little eyes peeping out from under bushy eyebrows. About 30 eyebrow houses remaining here. You look as we go along, and I'm sure you'll see Barry the family pet right alongside the other members of the family. And if you like reading epitaphs, walk around the city cemetery and take your camera. Some of these are priceless. One of them was written up one time in Reader's Digest. It's on the grave of Bertha Roberts, the lady who enjoyed poor health around here for about 85 years. You know the type. Her tombstone has a classic line. It says, "I told you I was sick." That's actually there. The American flag on the right, beneath it a statue of an 1890 sailor looking out to sea. Now he's not saluting, you salute with your right hand. That's his left hand. He's looking out to sea for his lost comrades. That commemorates the battleship Maine. There are 30 sailors buried there who were aboard the USS Maine when she was destroyed in Havana Harbor, 1898. The incident touched off the Spanish-American War. You see, the battleship Maine was a Navy ship from Key West. This was her home port. A lot of those sailors had connections right here. A couple of Royal Islands. Wasting away in Margaritaville sold 2 million copies. Another Buffett song told the story of the woman down here have been restored, including one coming up in this block that was restored by a movie star. Over here on the left side, behind the white fence, the house with the orange shutters, was restored by Roy Scheider, the star of Jaws and all that jazz, and so many other movies. He lived here during the decade. Building Hemingway spent many a day in, right over there. This is Ozzy Osbourne, the Miami Herald columnist, walking down the street like it's Galley and the Atosha. And
In his bright green tie, he was quite the handsomest of men. I started to yen, so I counted to 10, then I counted to 10 again. Clang, clang, clang with the trolley.
Fudge checkers are working in there. Green Wildlife Gallery.
Muy parecidas a esas son las últimas que se compraron.
This gives you an idea. All of Audubon's paintings of that mentioned engraving of that time were called the elephant or double elephant folio, and they call it that because he used such large paper. And then the flowers in the middle are Worcester from England, and they're representative of flowers from Key West with the hibiscus and the passion fruit. Down here, if you look at the silverware, this is modern. This is from Tiffany and Company, and they are still doing this. This is the Audubon pattern. And Audubon never copyrighted any of his works. So when he
Is it okay to look at these labels?
I'm supposed to pick them up. Yeah, I'm responsible. I'll be the one who gets in trouble.
What is that, 1951 it says? What is the date on that?
There isn't a date on this one or that one. This just says.
That was some wino from the last couple months.
Well, they've done a couple of restorations. Some of the items in here is this, the 3 plates up there.
Toilet. Vacuum cleaner. Bowl. Toilet. Children's room. What are these? What are we looking at?
They're porcelains by Dorothy Dougherty's porcelain birds that are copies of she used what's his name, Audubon's drawings and paintings and make the...
They're derived from his etchings.
Exactly.
Coral rock, indigenous to the area. right there. This is Martha's favorite bar. Hemingway's toaster.
There at Happy
There
Hour.
are bigger package ones, right? I don't go on that on the corner of
That's a nice place. I like it. Yeah.
North
That was my first
Mill and
stop. When I got here, I said hi to Dennis and we went down. That's okay.
It's not really quite.
Sounds like a pig.
It does. Well, yeah, it's not doing what it's
296.
Oh, this is thick. What is this? Oh, it looks like frozen. It's frozen. Oh, dear.
Scooter pie.
Yeah. Did I tell you I was in a movie?
Dennis hates this illusion of grandeur.
No. Oh, yeah.
I don't believe you. Martha doesn't even know about this one.
LeVin wanted to know, how does that dog urinate? Does he lift his front paw?
Stands on his head.
Oh, she was scary. But, you know, you never know what you're going to find when you go in the box.
You look like that. Look at me! Look at me! God damn it.
I hate
I'm mad.
little dogs anyway, but this thing was like, I wanted to kick the dog so bad. I hated that dog. And it would, well, our dog tried to eat it. You know, the dog I used to live with.
Maybe if you did,
No, they probably didn't. They'd like that. It's like, I'm not that close to people when you first meet them, you know? Maybe later when I get to know you better. But not when you just walk up to me, you know? Well, dogs do that. I can from work. Debbie Ross brought her golden whatever they are, Labrador, over to our house. And she's like, the dog's trying to help my dog. I'm like, this is really disgusting. Oh, isn't that cute? I'm like, no, that's not cute. Get the dog out of my apartment right now. This is gross. Hear how pretty he is. Our dog doesn't do that either. No. Our dog is too stupid, I think. Well, our dog... I think if our dog got a milk, even if he had his nuts, he wouldn't.
I mean, he was just mincing around and it was like, oh, God.
Obnoxious, actually. Oh, that big white puppy one coming in. Look at that. Look at over here, the contrast between those two clouds.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
I don't think you can see
Well, he did.
Yeah, and he's like, no, we can't bother him. And I said, listen, this guy slashed my tires. He's been throwing things at my door. You know, he's a weird guy. He's been abusing his wife, who is like 8 months pregnant. A very prominent attorney, but had an alcohol problem. Yeah. My dad had a similar kind of problem. And like, so that when, you know, the older kids remember all the parties and things, but where she is in the family line, all I remember was being poor and all the neighbors giving us clothes. See, my grandmother was the total opposite. She was married to... Well, my other grandmother was the total opposite, but Grandmother Stewart was very formal. Grandmother on mother's side was Jewish woman who had married a boxer.
Oh,
And he was also a silversmith. Later on in his life, he was a silversmith.
Silversmith.
But he would take his money from.
You're okay. Parker Bowsey's a dear friend, but if you act like him at all, we'll slap you.
I'll try to behave.
I hear an accent. Where are you from?
I'm from Norway.
Oh,
really?
wow.
What are you doing here?
Driving a cab.
He wanted some heat.
Seriously.
I've been in town just over 6 years. And,
Just over 6 years. That's a long time.
Driving cab all that time?
No, I just done that for a few months. When I came here, I bought a guest house.
Yeah.
And I ran that for 5 years before I sold it.
Why did you sell it?
Right up the street here, called the Garden House. It's a lot of work.
It's easier to drive cab?
Well, yeah.
For right now?
In ways, I'm sure.
At least you do that, you have certain hours instead of running a guest house. You're
24
there
hours a
24
day.
hours a day.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed doing it, but it was a lot of work.
I thought you were getting out.
Smothered with Cuban-inspired sauce combining meat, tomatoes, olives, and capers and spices. But there's
August 26th.